An Import-Export Guide. Chapter 1. Exporting and Importing. Exporting 1. There are hundreds of American manufacturers with limited distribution looking for an overseas market. Many hire export experts or brokers, people who have connections and know the procedure to market goods overseas. They have foreign contacts and know the demand for specific goods. They handle the sale, the paperwork, the money, all shipping, customs, and foreign distribution. The manufacturers in return provide quotations and they put their fees on top of that. You simply find a good export representative, write up a contract and he solicits business for you in foreign countries, or you do it yourself with your own research and help from the government. FOB means free on board. The seller delivers the goods to a certain destination. The seller insures and takes the responsibility until that point. The buyer takes the responsibility and pays the charges after that. For example, FOB New York means the seller's price quotation includes full responsibility and shipping to New York. FOZ means free alongside. The seller delivers the goods to the ship that will carry the merchandise. The buyer pays to load onto the ship and takes responsibility from there. FOZ New York, for example, means that the seller will deliver and store the goods until they are ready for loading onto the ship in New York. CNF means cost and freight. The seller pays the freight charges. The buyer insures the merchandise and takes full responsibility after the destination. CIF means cost, insurance, and freight. The seller is responsible for the value and condition of the goods and pays both insurance and freight charges to a certain point. The buyer is responsible from there. A freight forwarder is a person who takes care of the important steps of shipping the merchandise. This person quotes shipping rates, provides routing information and books cargo space. Freight forwarders prepare documentation, contract shipping insurance, route cargo with the lowest customs charges and arrange storage. They can be found by looking in the yellow pages or by personal referrals. Have your freight forwarder or other contacts get authorized bills of lading for the merchandise each step of the way from inception to destination. Once you have all the signed documents, present them to your banker. If all the terms are met, the funds will be released. Commercial airlines sell their unused cargo space as freight space. For products weighing under a few tons, you might consider air freight. In the end, it's all about hustle on your side to meet consumer demand worldwide with good product that foreigners will go for. Then you contact foreign government trade offices and ask them for information about selling to them. Every country has major stores like Walmart. Your job is to find them and offer them good products at low prices. Rollerblades are a current fad here, why not pitch them overseas? Exporting 2. The basics of exporting are: get trade information about your target country from the exporting/trade division of your country's federal government and state/provincial government. These trade commissioners will give you a list of people to contact. Get information about trade from the consulate of your target country located in your country, probably in the capital city, either Ottawa or Washington, D.C., although there are consulates in other major cities. Buy a trade directory for that country or a world trade directory. Visit or get one of your employees to visit these people you're dealing with to see if they're serious, credible business people with solid brick and mortar companies who genuinely want to sell your product for profit. Check the general wealth of the country, the stability of the bank you're dealing with, and the credit worthiness of the companies you're dealing. You can do this on the internet. There are professional services who do this. There are other sections in this book that might be able to help you. Do they have an international business credit card, and if so, for how much credit? Some other ways to check up on the company you plan to do business with are: the international stock exchanges who know the goings-on of any public companies worldwide. Your government trade office. Other exporters who have done business with the company. The U.S. Department of Commerce, doc.gov, has a book called The World Traders' Data Report, which has background information on many foreign firms. Some rating services like Dun & Bradstreet, dnb.com, sell reports on foreign companies complete with a credit report or will do a custom search on demand. Information experts or trade consultants on the internet will do this for a fee. Learn about delivery companies, freight forwarding and banking in your target country. Make an international marketing plan. Hire professional help to learn the ropes. Exporting globally takes a significant amount of effort and money to get going, but don't let that stop you. Hire overseas agents and distributors to find new markets for you. Don't be too greedy for around-the-world market share until your business operations are in place such that you can deliver the goods and earn a profit from it. If business is good at home, don't let your international sector suffer in quality. Treat your international distributors as well as you treat your at-home salespeople. Modify your products to meet the regulations and cultural preferences of foreign countries. Print services, instructions, sales, and warranty messages in locally understood languages. The U.S. Department of Commerce, doc.gov, has a trade opportunities program where they offer you leads from foreigners who want American products. Subscribe to their Journal of Commerce for more leads. Chapter 2. An Exporting Guide. The Market. Learn the tariff barriers, import quotas, and internal taxes for your products. Is there any domestic production in the countries you're selling to? How competitive are they? What about building a subsidiary there? On the world market, who are the major foreign competitors for your product line? How much of the market share do they own? Study them, learn from them, better them. Is your product better than theirs? Can you make it better still? Does the cost of transportation make the product too costly to be profitable for you and competitively sold? Is the country you're selling to politically and economically stable? Is the currency stable and easy to convert into your currency? Are there any government restrictions on doing business? The product. Can the product be sold as is, or does it need modifications to be sold in that country? What size, style, colors, and design do those people prefer? Will assembly have to be done in the country, like bikes, some furniture, cars, etc., and is the necessary resident expertise there? Will you need after-sales servicing? If so, how will you offer it, through contract with local vendors, or will you have to set up a service center and train locals for it? What are the packaging and labeling requirements? What technical specifications does the product have to meet? Does the product meet local safety, health, and environmental standards? The price. What is the profitability at different price levels? Test the demand at 3 price levels: low, mid-range and high. Can you match or better the price of your foreign competitors and still be profitable? If you can't match the competitors' prices, can you still sell because you can deliver the quantity of goods they need, you can do it quickly, your product is superior and you offer good after-sales service? What payment plan does your buyer offer you? Is there enough upfront cash flow to keep you happy, giving them some credit to pay in installments to keep them happy? Distribution. What are the methods of distribution in that country? Which is best, meaning the most reliable and cheapest? Are there any laws regarding distribution? Who do the middlemen/brokers normally sell to? Can you bypass them and sell directly to retailers? Can you forge other markets than what the brokers do? How do the brokers promote the product, if at all, beyond a few phone calls to their contacts? How does the competition distribute? Learn from them. Will it better to license your product to one broker for the whole country or sell it on your own to any retailer who wants it? How will you package your products for transport? How will you ship it? What is the most reliable, cheapest, and quickest way? What are the port and warehousing facilities like in that country? Is there an agent over there who can do all the basic stuff from getting the product off the boat into the hands of the retailers who want it? Is distribution a free process in a free market, or is it run by a hostile monopoly or some organized crime type deal that wants a payment from you in order to sell your product there? Promotion. What are the mediums of advertising in that country? What are the costs? Which advertising method will work best for your products? How do competitors advertise? How extensive is it? What about trade shows and exhibitions in that country? Get in on them to show your product off. Get a list of the major retailers who sell your type of product, approach them with an introductory letter, then a face-to-face meeting with your representative over there who will show the product. Then if they like it, give them the first trial order on a consignment basis. They pay you only for the number of widgets they sell in a time period, generally 30 days, and move on to another payment plan more suitable to the both of you if it's a good seller. Chapter 3. An Importing Guide. An Importing Guide. Between regulatory changes and language barriers, importing is not a business for the faint of heart. Regulations can change without a word of warning and seem to have very little to do with logic. Tack on quotas and tariff breaks for undeveloped countries and you have a real potpourri of information required in order to do business. Before taking on this type of business, you will need to do your homework well. If you are lucky enough to fall onto a hot new item, i.e., Cabbage Patch dolls, a fortune could be made almost overnight. I've read through catalogs from the Eastern industrialized countries that advertised some neat products as yet unknown in America. The bottom line truth is that many foreign companies create products but then stop there. They sell in their neck of the woods and leave it at that. There are two basic concepts of importing. The first is the small-time operation where you buy 1,000 sweaters for $5 a piece from Kenya and sell them here at a flea market or through a retail outlet for $20 a piece. Some people start what they call import/export shops where they sell all kinds of neat trinkets from foreign countries. The money's pretty good because you can buy stuff from overseas cheap and mark it up sometimes as high as 1,000%. American people love to spend their money on useless things because it makes them feel like they're treating themselves because, as the TV commercial says, they're worth it. The second concept is the manufacturer's representative for foreign companies to sell to American firms. One hot product sold through 3,000 plus Walmart stores could make you rich at a 10% commission. If you choose wisely, you will have no domestic competition, so choosing your product is one key to success in the importing industry. Be very careful what you choose though. You must take transportation, breakage, and market saturation into consideration. You can save yourself a lot of trouble by importing items that are easy to transport and/or lightweight. Once you've picked your product, finding a source is rarely a problem. Foreign governments are eager to expand their balance of trade and will help you find a supplier for your product. You can obtain a list of manufacturer by product and country by contacting the U.S. Foreign Commercial Service. Many importers begin their business on a part-time basis until it really takes off. You will find yourself with a number of decisions to make and a lot of groundwork to lay before you can cut that first deal. So before you begin your business, you may want to take courses in import-export at your local college university. The Government Printing Office, Washington, D.C. 20402gpo.gov, access.gpo.gov/su_docs, has many publications available to help round out your education. You may wish to make contacts at brokerage or transportation companies and tap into their expertise. You will also want to determine the extent to which you plan to use the available support services. You may wish to use an import agent or broker to handle the foreign end of the transactions, for a percentage fee. Customs brokers and freight forwarders can ease the process too for another fee. Find out what transportation is available and which is the fastest and most economical. Check your yellow pages or contact local air or seaports for lists of suppliers, but be careful. Check them out. Before the goods you are importing show up in your country, you will need to decide how you intend to distribute them. You can sell your goods to a U.S. agent who will then redistribute to retail or wholesale buyers, or you can find buyers yourself. If you choose to sell directly, you will need to have a marketing staff to find buyers and go to trade shows in your industry. Although your initial costs will be higher if you market directly, assuming you can find a buyer for your product, your profit will also be much higher. There are a lot of risks involved in the import/export industry. Since you're paying in advance for goods which are being manufactured across the globe and you're dealing with different cultures and attitudes, it is important to ask the right questions and get everything in writing. In some instances, foreign governments side with their own nations, but many foreigners don't want bad blood with Americans or other nations, so they will help you get justice from an unscrupulous vendor. Customs and trade attorneys make a good living trying to keep importers out of trouble, so know your business and don't take chances. One of the items you will want to be very clear about is the currency of payment. Some governments don't like payment in dollars, but as a hedge against inflation, it is imperative. Also keep in mind that if a price sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you import something that is selling under the price manufacturers receive in their country, this is dumping and the US Customs will embargo the goods. You may even be hit with a retroactive embargo. Flexibility is the name of the game in the import/export industry. With the flick of a wrist, the Department of Commerce can erase your exporting country off the general system of preference list it publishes daily, and you may have to hop a plane to find a new supplier overnight. If you can't find something new to import, you can take an existing foreign product and upgrade or modify it. A change in design, style, or makeup of the product can make it more attractive and cost-effective to manufacturer and importer. The more creative you can be, the better your chances are. With technology today, you could find products, photograph them and send them via fax or email, website to your potential customers back home, and they could send you an order immediately without you having to risk the money yourself. The bottom line is that America is, for the most part, quick mass production with little room for novelty, nostalgia, craft, or beauty. There's plenty of this stuff in other countries. If you find the right few products, they could catch on and you could clean up. Buy what you like and what you think the average American would go for. Jewelry is generic, there's too much of it anyway. Focus on clothing, household knickknacks and other things of novelty and beauty. Buy to sell to stores for the Christmas market. Color is everything, that initial eye-catching appeal of any product no matter what it is. Start off going to Mexico and Central America. The east side of Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, Sudan, and Somalia are good, cheap prospects. Turkey, Afghanistan, Indonesia, Iran, Hong Kong are all good, and the list goes on. Contact the appropriate embassies for information before you go. You can get the addresses of embassies, tourist boards, and chambers of commerce from the Worldwide Chamber of Commerce directory at the library. Watch what the locals do. You might find a few good businessmen over there who will be glad to do business with you in a total capacity, that is, they will find you what you want and deal with you by mail order/internet sales when you're back home. They will send you either photographs/catalogs of new products by mail or scan them to you over the computer. I know one man who makes his entire living buying Persian rugs from one guy in Turkey by computer. The rugs come over by ship, he picks them up and sells them to carpet dealers and mail order/internet sales companies in his area, and that's it, $100,000 a year for part-time work. Many vendors are smart at befriending you then ripping you off. Watch it. Be creative. You might try modifying a product or adding several together to create a new product. Have business cards made up so that you can hand them around to seek out ambitious business people who might be interested in working with you. Wherever you go, seek out local tourist offices, chambers of commerce and local government commerce agencies. Tell them you're a business person looking to buy cool products cheap. They will help you out and steer you to some local factories that you might be able to work with. Ask them about trade organizations in the country, particularly apparel and novelty manufacturers. If you find something on the street you like, ask them to take you to the factory for a few pesos or yen. The best way to pay for things is with cash. Bring your credit/ATM card and withdraw only the cash you need on any particular day. Traveler's checks are on the way out. After you buy your products, your best bet is to pack them, drive to the airport or a terminal and have them shipped home via air freight. They will go in the cargo space of commercial flights. If you're dealing in high volume, Look around for shipping freight at ports near where you're located. Beware of archaeological and wildlife artifacts because some countries won't let you leave with them even though you bought them, and the United States won't let you bring them in either. There's no duty on artwork or handicrafts. The usual duty fee is you can bring back $400 duty free and pay 10% on the next $1,000, not bad if you lower the value of the goods by getting the vendor to give you a fake receipt. Contact the U.S. Customs Office, Washington, D.C. 20229cbp.gov, ask for information about tariffs, exemptions, prohibited articles, and importing, and ask for the address of the customs office nearest you. They will usually process your orders and you will pay the postman or the delivery man who comes to your house with the stuff. You can start by selling to friends, at local flea markets, local specialty shops, department stores, and mail order/internet sales catalog distributors. You could place an ad in the newspaper offering to sell exotic items from a booth at a flea market or anywhere like a corner of a gas station, a booth in a mall, etc. If you plan to expand, you can open your own store or become a distributor for a bunch of retailers in your state. The Christmas crafts fair route is big. After a while, once you have a base of factories and distributors overseas, you don't have to travel much except if you want to for a vacation, which you will write off as a business expense. If you have any problems with anyone, contact the Embassy and Tourist Office and they may help you because they don't want bad publicity for their country. You can deduct all the expenses of selling your booty, such as the cost of a booth at a flea market as well as all your travel expenses on your income taxes. You can also start an importing business without ever going anywhere. There are many American firms looking for foreign-made merchandise to distribute. Maybe you have contacts in the United States, distributors looking for certain goods, and you've already made contacts in the foreign countries that produce these goods. Follow through and get yourself an exclusive distribution agreement with those manufacturers. Importing requires the same diligence and follow-up as exporting does. You will need a signed contract with the manufacturer to be the sole agent distributing to North America or the world. You will also need to obtain firm price quotes from the manufacturer in the quantities your distributor requests. These quotes should be converted into the appropriate dollar figures representing the currency exchange. Investigate the reputation of the manufacturer and the reliability of the goods. If you import something like electronic components, check into the other distribution market the manufacturer has to assure the quality of merchandise. Since it's on foreign territory, you'd have more trouble in any legal suits even in light of the many international laws, although I've seen several cases solved simply by going to the foreign embassy or chamber of commerce and registering a complaint. Foreign countries don't want bad publicity and they will put the screws to their unscrupulous companies. Prepare the price quotation. It is easiest if you request terms of delivery to the port of that country. Your freight forwarder can help you move the merchandise from that port, overseas and through domestic customs. Follow through with all the details of shipment. Be sure to include any insurance, dock fees, storage rates, and shipping overland. Overlook nothing so your price quotation to the American distributor is accurate. Itemize the quotation and give it to the American distributor. Upon receipt of an authorized order, double-check prices and follow through on delivery. The letter of credit will go from the American distributor to the bank of the manufacturer. All terms and agreements regarding prices, freight, and insurance will be defined. The manufacturer's representative will confirm receipt of the letter of credit, which will release the goods for shipment. Have your freight forwarder follow up on the shipment of goods. They may have to be freighted from the factory to the docks. Arrangements for shipping need to be carried out. Customs duties and unloading need to be followed through from the American port, then the goods may need to be freighted overland to the final destination. As soon as the goods have arrived at the proper assigned destination, papers have to be documented and presented to the bank that holds the letter of credit. Then, all carriers and agents need to be paid and you collect your commission. The profit of the import/export business is in the quantity of the goods traded. The higher the cost of the merchandise, the higher the profit from your percentage. Since you need to go through all the steps for each transaction, buying a large quantity is better than buying a small quantity provided you can sell it. Send constant mailings to your original list of contacts and follow-up leads. You might develop a sales approach. As you develop more clients, you can convince the bigger companies of your reputation. Contact as many manufacturers and distributors as you can on both sides of the ocean and solidify these contacts. You may be able to work out an arrangement with someone to work in a certain country for a commission. Or, you might want to take a business trip there to personally meet with the various companies. Get in-depth information on the products now selling. Because of the low overhead, most of the money you make on commission is yours, but building a truly profitable business requires dedication and a good knowledge of the business. Each culture works in a specific manner. Get to know how to work with those people. The import/export business is not for everyone but is a personal operation that you can run yourself. You don't have to answer to anybody. The rewards of negotiating in a foreign country are excitement, a touch of the exotic, and the great profit potentials. Chapter 4. An Export-Import Website Guide. Exporting websites/importing websites. Go to the library and check out both number 381 and hashtag 651.7. You should be able to find a good world business directory at hashtag 651.7. There are several books out like How to Do Business with the Japanese, How to Do Business with the Chinese, etc. at hashtag 658.8. Books about export marketing at hashtag 658.848 or HF1416 at the library. foreign-trade.com/reference/impexb.htm. pierrobone.org/export/outline.htm, How to Succeed in International Business. mainlandchinatrading.info, Start an export-import business. exportbureau.com. onzico.com/basic-guide/c5.html, Guide to Exporting, Making Contacts. magicello.com/category/exporters. spyglasspoint.com, Learn how to be a global trader. onzico.com/basic-guide/toc.html, Exporting, a basic guide. trade.gov/index.asp, International Trade Administration. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/international_trade, International Trade Overview. bls.gov/iag/tgs/iag44-45.htm, Retail Trade Industry at a Glance. tradeport.org/tutorial, Trade and Exporting Tutorial. crashcourseandexporting.com. ehau.com/list_7466798_legit-importing-exporting-insider-secrets.html, Legit Importing and Exporting Insider Secrets. goforworldbusiness.com. global-secure-x-im-services.us. exportbureau.com/export_fraud.html. worldbank.org/html/lac/cgced/exports. alibaba.com/catalog, Huge exporter of goods. zepol.com, US import data, search import bills of lading, find who imports what, when and from where. exim.gov, export insurance. exim.gov 800-565-3946, Export-Import Bank. export.gov. export911.com. exportagenti.com. exportall.net. exporter.com. exporterfoodadditives.world.com. exporthotline.com. exportinstitute.com, 800-943-3171. export-leads.om. exporttoday.com. expoworld.net. exportfocus.com. export-import-companies.com. importers.ca, 416-595-5333, Canada. importers-exporters.com. importersnet.com. traders-business.com. WorldTradeA.com. American Association of Exporters and Importers. 1200 G Street, NW. Number 800. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-661-2181. AAEI.org. American Importers Association. 420 Lexington Avenue, New York, New York 10017. 727-724-0900. AmericanImporters.org. American Register of Importers and Exporters. 38 Park Row, New York, New York 10038. American Translators Association. 703-683-6100. Atanet.org. International Trade Administration. 800, USA Trad. ita.doc.gov. Export websites. Exporteel.net. Exporebuildchile.com. Export-edge.com. Export-enterprise.com. Export-forum.com. Export-help.cec.eu.int. Export-import-companies.com. Export-import-indonesia.com. Export-import.lt. Export-import.pl. Export-japan.com. Export-nn.ru. Export-to-china.com. Export-u. Export-u.com. Export-u2.com. Export-worldguide.com. Export.m. Export.by. Export.ca. Export.com.gt. Export.customsinfo.com. Export.gov. Export.gov.il. Export.government.bg. Export.is. Export.nl. Export.org.uk. Export61.com. Export61.com.au. Export911.com. Exporta.gov.sv. Exportagroup.com. Exportamerica.doc.gov. Exportapims.com. Exportar.org.ar. Exportassistance.com. Exportaz.org. Exportblueprint.com. Exportbureau.com. Exportconcile.fr. Exportconsultor.com. Exportqncilawforeign.org. Exportcontrol.mod.gov.il. Exportdoc.com. Exporter.com. Exporter.globalimporter.net. Exporteroftheyear.com. Exporters.checktrade.cz. Exporters.org.hk. Exporters.sg. Exportersforexim.org. Exporterus.com. Exportevent.nl. Exportflorida.org. Exportfocus.com. Exportforms.com. Exportgate.gr. Exporthelp.co.za. Exporthelp.europa.eu. Exporthotline.com. Exportimportforum.com. Exportimportlaw.com. Exportinfo.org. Exportinsurance.com. Exportjamaica.org. Exportlegal.org. Exportmadeira.com. Exportmanagers.com. Exportmaster.co.uk. Exportmichigan.com. Exportminnesota.com. Exportnavigator.com. Exportnd.com. Exportpages.com. Exportrisk.com. Exports-to-Nigeria.com. Exports-to-Kuwait.com. Exportseminar.eventbrite.com. Exportservices.be. Exportsolutionsinc.com. Exportsource.ca. Exporttexas.com. Exporttoday.com. Exportuk.co.uk. Exportuniversity.com. Exportweek.ukti.gov.uk. Exportyellowpages.com. exportzone.com. Import websites. impomag.com. import-export-made-easy.com. import-export.suite101.com. import-from-china-business.com. import.net.cn. import.or.kr. importerlist.com. importers.africa-business.com. importers.ca. importers.com. importersapparelconference.com. importexpo.org. importexportbusiness.blogspot.com. importexportcoach.com. importexporthelp.com. importgenius.com. importsource.ca. importswork.com. importswork.org. impossible-objects.com. impots.cm. impots.finances.gov.tn. impots.gov.fr. impots.gov.cm. impotsdirects.public.lu. impots@domains.gov.sn.